Oh, what a timeless tambourine must be played to be able to be seen, but I cannot be seen to be telling you, to be telling you a scene that is happening in a dream that keeps within away from me, but that is what matters here, or doesn't here. But I'll tell you something, even though this is episode 501, it is not, why I'll explain why in just a moment. But before I do, I'd like to say I had a 9-hour nap before, well, after that 5-hour stream broke up into 1 hour 50 and 3 hours and 10 minutes. I'm finally rested, but also not. Welcome back to Danmachi. Hello, everybody. Far and wide. Either watching this on the day it came out, watching this a week after it came out, or watching this in the far, far future to another episode of Memoria, Freese. Why to episode 506? Now let me explain myself. So, for those who are watching the playlist, in order, and you're not just watching this as they come out, you'll understand why why I would call this episode 506, but it's not called episode 506 because it's episode 501. Now, this episode I was originally planning to continue Dungeon Rogue Town, but I feel like this needs to be addressed. I feel like this needs to be addressed more than once throughout the entire series, because I feel like it's so important for me to just make an entire episode about my flaws. Because I have a lot of flaws. And so instead of actually going through Dungeon Rogue Town and playing the new levels, well, the remainder of the levels, we're gonna talk about my faults today, while revisiting the hard and very hard versions of what we've done in Dungeon Rogue Town thus far. So let's do that, starting with Puzzle Labyrinth 1. So, this is episode 501 for all of you, except for the ones who are probably watching this on the playlist. Because on the playlist, which I recently updated this morning, has 505 episodes, including this one making it 506. Now, the reason for this is obviously throughout the 501 episodes that I have published and recorded, or 506, I have missed a few. I have had episodes that have been 2-parters or 3-parters, probably, due to not having enough time in the day to merge the files together and then upload it. And then there's been times where I miss an episode without wanting to miss an episode, and I just say, oh yeah, that episode never existed. There has been times where I record an episode, but then that episode never gets through because of the recorder, of the screen recorder, and YouTube saying, oh, it's not an MP4 when it's an MP4. And usual things like that happen, or I miscount, or I usually put, I was scrolling through the episodes and I saw that it was either 259 or 359. There was two episode 359 or 200 or two 259s, which I thought was really funny. And so yeah, there's sometimes that I can miscount. He's obviously trying to properly count every episode and trying to remember day after day, even though so much is happening in the day. Trying to remember the actual number of the episode is a little hard, even though I can just go look back on my computer or on my phone which episode number it is that comes out, or that I'm going to publish today. I still forget to do that in the past, especially. And so that is why this playlist, the playlist for this series, is 506 episodes. And this is why this episode isn't episode 506, and instead it's 501. Now, obviously, for those who are watching this through the playlist probably know this. At this point, they probably figured it out, because I'm assuming anyone that's come this far in this series must have the IQ of a god. If you've known this much about, if you've come all this way learning about this much about this series anime along with me, you must know everything, basically. I mean, that's the ideal here. If you understand Memoria, at least you understand life. Or anime. Or, I don't know. My point is that that's the reason why things are like that. And so yeah, this is episode 501, like I've said. And tomorrow... Actually, not tomorrow. And another thing I find really funny, while scrolling back through the previous episodes, like episodes 200 to yesterday, and adding them to the playlist, was that some of the titles didn't have like the slashes that I have now, like for when it comes to what is it called? When it comes to Dungeon Road Town, I have Dungeon Road Town / Tale / levels 1 through 5 or whatever, and then episode whatever. But back then I didn't have like the slashes, and that's been like something that's changed. It's cool seeing like the evolution of how all the episode titles work. Especially when it comes to the events, especially when it comes to different things, especially when it came to the Melon Quest thing, which happened not long ago. I was also surprised to find out that I was right about the event extravaganza. That last episode, it was the third event extravaganza. And so that was really cool, because the first event extravaganza was episode 365, the second one was episode 400, and of course the third one was last episode. And that was split up into 2 parts because my phone died in the middle of the live stream. If you didn't watch the live stream. And of course, I plan, after saying all this, like how some episodes I've skipped, and how some episodes don't are recorded but don't get uploaded because YouTube doesn't let them get uploaded. That hasn't happened in a while. Or some episodes have a 2-parter or like a 3-parter, potentially a 4-parter. That's just how it's gonna go. It's not gonna change. That's never going to change. I'm always gonna have faults when it comes to this series. There's no way this series is going to be perfect and going to have every single number possible. It's not like I'm sure I'm gonna mess up. I'm sure I'm gonna accidentally call this episode 502, even though that's not really gonna happen. But you never know. And so I had planned to say that, I'm gonna be better in the future. I'm gonna not skip an episode, or I'm not gonna forget the episode number. But I am, because I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Absolutely no one's perfect. Probably except Hermes. But he even has his faults, alright? And I think I just wanted to spend this entire episode talking about that. Because I'm sure people in the future who are watching this series, if anyone ever does, will have problems with that. And so I'd like to take this episode to address that. Even though it's like, halfway through the series, still I want to take this episode to address that. So yeah. On a more flatter note, it is 9:46 a.m. in the morning. I got up at 6 or 6:30 And from that time to now, I have been listening to Dead Meat review all of the Jason films, and also been playing Minecraft, which just failed horribly because I was getting killed by drowned constantly. I also listened to some music, and I had breakfast, and now I'm here. I think later today I'm just gonna do whatever, because this upcoming week I have so many tests, it's mental, so I can only hope that I can keep this series up despite all the tests that I have coming up this week and next week. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. This is a strange episode to start off the 500 to 600 episode journey. But I feel like this was also a really important one to upload. Again, I know that we didn't get too much done in this episode. We got nothing done in this episode, except we revisited the hard and very hard versions of Dungeon Rogue Town. Next episode, though, fret not, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to actually be continuing Dungeon Rogue Town. Where hopefully, I think it was this week. I think this week we're finishing Dungeon Rogue Town up, so that should be pretty fun. And yeah, just join me next time, and as I'm slowly winding down this episode, I'm slowly getting a little tired, which is expected, seeing as I recorded a 5-hour episode yesterday, and also took a 9-hour nap, which should have recovered me, but it didn't, because I just couldn't sleep in those 9 hours, even though I did sleep. Just great. Just absolute greatness. Anyway. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, sayonara. Peace. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, thank y'all for watching an episode of Danjana Koidamashi. Goddamn, I scum. Memoria, Freese, 2 episode 4. 5. No, not 4. No. I had a problem with that when it came to 300 episodes, transferring to the 400 episodes. Thank y'all for watching that episode, the 501st episode of this never-ending series that will probably, maybe, just maybe, last for eons.